Hi, Nancy Moss here with Graham Magazine. Today I'm visiting with one of my friends, Louisa Clarque. Louisa is the Assistant General Manager at Columbia Care Dispensaries in Bonita Springs, Florida. Hi, Louisa.
Hi, Nancy. Nice to see you, and thank you very much for inviting me and having me right here on your show. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Can you share with our viewers? You and I've known each other for a while now, and we connected being both out of the Nevada industry and our history in the
Yeah.
cannabis industry the first day we met. Um, can you share your cannabis story with our viewers today?
Well, you want me to start from the beginning? I can start from the beginning. It started in California. I lived in Orange County, and I had migraine variant very bad from a child growing on up. And about 19, 20 years old, I would say about 2000, 2001, I went and got myself my first med card. And from there, I started, going to dispensaries, and I felt really at home at one of the dispensaries I walked into. And they looked at me like I was part of their family. And next thing you know, I just started working for them. It was definitely um, a journey that brought me here. I did not expect myself getting this far, 16 years later. Um, but it's definitely brought me a long way. Worked in California. I ended up moving to Nevada, many years later, working in that industry. And now here I am. I'm in Florida. Just seeing each state go from medical to recreational. And I know right now we're in the state and it is just medical, but we will see that recreational or that adult use come, obviously years down the road.
Right. But until then, the patients in Florida are very fortunate to have you as a resource. Um, when did you start really studying the medicine of
Oh,
cannabis?
goodness. In the beginning, we didn't have test kits. We didn't have THC. We didn't have terpenes. We didn't have cannabinoids. We didn't have any of that. It was basically based off of what your experiences were. And, they have the cannabis encyclopedia. But I will say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, when I was in Nevada, that's when I really started to connect more with my patients and with the products. You had the THC content. You were able to actually know the terpenes instead of just cosmetically looking at it and saying, oh, this looks like a pretty flower.
Right.
Smelling it, oh, this smells really good. You really have the science there. I think that's when I really, you could say, concentrating more on the components, not just what was right there. And since then, 4 years, later, I work for a company that has a very good training.
Louisa, can you tell us about this training?
Yeah, they actually have a really good cannabis training program. It's a mentor training. And, it takes you not only into just, flower, and like, it goes over the history, it goes over the laws, it goes over how to protect yourself, how to protect your patients, it goes over cannabinoids, terpenes, different routes. I mean, it goes over everything. I've worked for 4 different dispensaries in 3 different states within this time. And I will say that their training is top of the line. They really make sure that whoever works for them is set up to win and set up to give a better quality of life to the patients that walk through the door. And it's not like it's a rush training either. I think we have about a 12 days of training before you're physically out there with patients. And even then, you always have somebody that's extremely knowledgeable on site that's able to answer questions that you're not, because we don't lie, we don't make things up. We really want to make sure that when we tell our patients something, that we are being honest with them and we're leading them in the right direction, because we don't make the choices either. They do.
Right, right. I remember in our first encounter, my daughter, who's a patient, um, talked to you about her migraine situation, and you quickly jumped on the computer and started pulling up studies and information and data. And that's when I stepped up and we first began speaking. Thank you for treating patients that way and treating cannabis as the medicine that it is. And yeah, recreation will be great when it comes to Florida. I think it'll be great for the Florida economy. Um,
Right.
but today we're talking medicine and making sure that people understand there's great cannabis science going on around the world, but here in the US, here in Florida, there's a lot of
Yeah.
cannabis science happening. So um, we want to share it with our viewers and people that we meet like you that have a lot of information that they can
Thank you.
share. We appreciate you coming on and giving us a glimpse into this. Is not a one and done thing. You're
No.
16 years in the industry, and I know learning every day because I know that sometimes I'll text you and say, "Hey, did you hear?" And you'll say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, look at this."
And I
So,
appreciate that. And I'm actually happy. When I first moved here from Nevada a little over a year ago, it was culture shock for me. I went from a 16-page menu, front, back, whatever you wanted, whatever you needed, we had it. And then I come here and I'm like, what? 9 items? That's it? Smokable just got released. So this whole time they've been depending on vapes and tinctures. But, it's good. It's actually a really good thing. And it's great that we're not at an adult or recreational use right now, because we would not have enough products to go around.
right.
Um, we wouldn't. It'd be out of hand. We would have a lot of upset patients that weren't able to take care of their needs.
I'm afraid it might be worse than what we faced in July in Las Vegas and Reno when we went rec. It took over a month to catch up, and then it took a year to really, really catch up and get
Yeah.
quality products back out without any rush job.
And that's a state that, is not vertically integrated too.
Exactly.
So you have a lot more hands on, and that's another good thing about Florida. I like the fact that it is vertically integrated. That means that, you have these companies that have to take accountability, and you're not having to go through different channels. And it really makes sure that when you do buy something, you are getting it from seed to soul. You know what's going on, and the processes, even right now with the delay in testing that they have here. They're trying to get their laws all put in place, and they're trying to do it the right way. They don't want to see what happened like with California when I started there. We didn't have to have a vendor's license. You didn't have to have a dispensary license. They didn't have to do a level 2 background check or a level 4 like Nevada. They didn't have to do any of that. It was basically just going and applying for a job. So, Florida's doing it the right way. I'm really excited about it. And I think maybe it's just kind of due to the fact of that huge opioid epidemic. And, Florida used to be, me living in California, I knew that Florida was the pill capital. Anybody could go to Florida and get what they want. And so Florida's definitely doing it the right way right now. And, the only thing I can tell people is just don't worry, it's coming. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fantastic. And,
And
make,
it's fun to be in on that process of seeing everything become better and more accounted for in so many ways.
yeah, I agree. Even like right now with our edibles coming out, it's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Some people, I've had patients call up here and say, oh, you guys have edibles? Do you have gummy bears? Well, we will. We will. Are they going to be bear shaped? Well, no, we got to watch out for our children. We have to
Right.
make sure that we're protecting all avenues. Also, that goes into more learning. And that's what I really love about this industry is, I may feel like, oh, 16 years, I know it all. I don't know it all. And I know every single day I am continuously learning more and more and more. And it's exciting to me. And to be able to talk to patients and be able to like help them understand things, look at the CBD market, right?
Yeah.
big boom. Everybody, oh, let's get CBD, and now they're starting to regulate it more. Thank goodness, because you can go into a CBD store and think you're getting the best thing, but it's not suspended in the right things. It's not plant based. Your body's not going to absorb it right, or it has sugars in it, and you're diabetic, and that's not something you should be taking every day. So it's just, it's awesome. It's amazing. And I am so excited to be a part of this. I can't wait to see it 20 years down the line.
So we'll do another interview, hopefully before 20 years, but we'll have this to look back on and see what the infancy of Florida's cannabis market was in the year of the pandemic, 2020, huh?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Hey, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Louisa, thanks for being with us today, and thank you for sharing your story. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Nancy. It's always my pleasure, and I can't wait to see you again.